everybody. The hardbacks and paperbacks for The Savior Sister are officially available for pre-sale right now. A lot of you have been asking how you can pre-order physical copies, and now you can do just that. All the links are in the description below. Pre-order it. I support you. On a similar note, everyone who pre-orders any version of The Savior Sister, whether it's ebook, paperback, or hardback, is welcome to enter my pre-sale giveaway. I am handing out over 35 prizes. One of those prizes is a signed hardback of Divinity Falling by Noor Zikra. If you're not familiar with Noor, she is a fellow fantasy writer and YouTuber. You should definitely check her out. I have her information linked below. Not only is she super talented, but she's literally one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life, and that's a fact. Someone is walking away with her debut novel, Divinity Falling, at the end of this video, so stay tuned. First, I am tackling one of your most popular requests, and that is how to evoke emotion through your writing. Evoking emotion is one of the most important things an author can do because it keeps your audience reading. If they don't feel anything, they're gonna get bored, and if they're bored, they're gonna put the book down. Not only have you guys been requesting this topic, it was also requested by one of my patrons over on Patreon, Matt Holland. Matt is an amazing guy. He is also one of my beta readers for TSS, and just one of my favorite people overall. He wanted to learn more about how to write emotional scenes without laying it on too thick. I've covered this in the past, but I have a ton more to say on the topic, so much so that I have way too much information to fit into one video. So we're gonna make a few. Today I'm breaking down my first 10 tips for evoking emotion through your writing. We'll cover the rest of them another time. And if you want to hear more of my writing tips, or if you just want to enjoy my beautiful face, subscribe to my channel and ring that bell because I said so, damn it. Tip number 1, show, don't tell. Bet you saw this coming. There are definitely places where telling in fiction is perfectly acceptable, but when it comes to the emotional shit, it ain't gonna work. If you simply tell the reader, she was mad, that's gonna do nothing for him. A much better option is to show the character's anger. If you state the moment was sad, the reader is going to feel nothing. But if you convey the sadness through tone, pacing, and dialogue, it's going to have a much more evocative effect. Most of the points on this list are essentially different ways to show the emotion as opposed to telling the emotion, because showing has a much more transportive effect on the reader. Number 2, use the 5 senses. One of the easiest tricks to show as opposed to tell is to rely on your 5 senses. The reason the 5 senses work is because 1, most of us have them, so they're super relatable, and 2, our senses are deeply tied to emotion. Look at the sense of touch. If your character is touching something soft and silky, this can create feelings of comfort, tranquility, or sexiness. If your character is touching something sharp and jagged, this can create feelings of fear or worry. The taste of salt can be panic-inducing if you are licking sweat off of your lips during a grueling battle, but the same exact taste could be super arousing if you're licking the rippling abs of a man you're about to bone. Consider the 5 senses as a shortcut to tugging at your reader's heartstrings. Or horny strings. Number 3, nix filter words. Filter words are words that filter the reader's experience through the main character. Feel, heard, saw, realized, wondered, thought. All of these are filter words. Like all words, there is a time and place for them, but 9 times out of 10, filter words are gonna distance readers from the emotion of the story. They remind the reader that they're reading as opposed to experiencing the story firsthand, and you don't want that. You want them to feel as though they are living the story through the character. Eliminating filter words is easy once you learn how to recognize them. For example, the sentence, "She heard the crash of thunder in the distance," can be rewritten as, "Thunder crashed in the distance." Simple, effective. Number 4, speak through the character. I recently read a book that followed a woman who had been kidnapped and shackled to a bed. In the exact moment she realized she was being held against her will, she looked out the window and paused to muse about the weather and how it would be a perfect day for gardening. I was instantly sucked out of the scene and all emotion from the moment completely disappeared. What the author did was fail to speak through the character. Sure, the character was the one who was supposed to be talking in theory, but it was very very clear that we were getting the author's thoughts in that moment. Why? Because no one who's discovered they've been kidnapped is gonna muse about gardening. They're gonna be afraid or shocked or confused. There are a ton of emotions they could be experiencing. Serene wonder over tomato plants is not one of them. Never lose sight of the fact that this is not only your story, it's the character's story. And if you convey how they'd realistically feel in that moment, it'll be a lot easier for the reader to emotionally connect to them. Number 5, keep it moving. The longer you stay in the same moment, the less impactful it'll be. That's not to say that you should keep all scenes short and sweet. Give them the attention they deserve. Just don't stay there forever. Think of it this way. We all know a person who cries over everything. If they get a bad grade, they cry. If they watch a movie, they cry. If they see a baby, they cry. It's their prerogative to express their emotions however they'd like, but the fact is, since they're constantly crying, we become numb to it. We are so used to that reaction that it stops having an impact on us. It's the same in fiction. If your main character is in the same exact scene, featuring the same exact emotion for chapters upon chapters, the reader's gonna get over it. They can only sit on the edge of their seat or mourn the character for so long. And the emotion is gonna stop feeling real and start feeling melodramatic. Number 6, vary the emotion. Just like my previous example with the person who always cries, if your character is always scared or always sad, it's gonna lose impact. Your reader is going to become numb to the emotion. It's gonna feel overdone and melodramatic, but most importantly, it's gonna feel unrealistic. Human beings are complex. We experience a wide range of emotions every day, and the odds are your character should do the same. The easiest way to achieve this is to constantly put your character in new situations or expose them to different stimuli that will affect them in different ways emotionally. This will make the reader feel a variety of emotions alongside the character, and it will eliminate or at least decrease the presence of melodrama. Number 7, dialogue. A lot of people here use dialogue to convey emotion and then have their character explicitly state how they feel. This may work sometimes, but how often do you get into an argument with a person where they evenly state, "I am angry for the following reasons"? I fucking wish, right? Emotion is often verbalized through tone of voice, the flow of our sentences, word choice, and sentence length. If someone is extremely excited, they may ramble on and on with hardly any pauses. If they're angry, they may swear or yell. If they're nervous, their speaking may be fragmented or disjointed. These are all clear signs of how a character is feeling, which will create a visceral reaction in your reader. Number 8, body language. Body language is one of the easiest ways to convey emotion. It's also one of the easiest writing tools to forget. If a character is feeling skeptical, they can raise an eyebrow. If they're feeling petulant, they can pout. If they're sad, they can stare at the floor. If they're nervous, they can fiddle with their clothing. If they're angry, they can ball their hands into fists. All of these actions create a very distinct visual, and these visuals are a lot more impactful than simply stating, "He was sad, he was nervous, he was angry." Pay attention to how your character's emotions manifest in their body, and it will take your writing to the next level. Number 9, pacing. Pacing can have a huge effect on the emotion of a scene, provided you use it correctly. A faster pace, which typically constitutes shorter sentences, creates a sense of urgency, whereas a slower pace, which is usually made up of longer sentences, creates a feeling of slowness. This means if you're writing a fight scene, you'll probably rely heavily on shorter sentences, whereas if you're writing a thoughtful conversation between two characters, you might be using longer sentences. Please don't automatically assume that a slower pace equates to boring. There are plenty of situations where a slower pace is preferred. A perfect example is a kiss scene. You want the pace to be slow because the character, and thus the reader, is savoring every sensation. Know the emotion you want to convey in a scene and pace it accordingly. And last for now, number 10, word choice. Word choice will absolutely make or break the emotional tone of your story because words themselves carry a shit ton of emotion. I've talked in the past about powerful verbs, and this is where the idea comes from. Certain verbs pack more of an emotional punch than others. For example, a character could wave their arms, or they could thrash, or they could flail. These verbs are essentially synonyms, yet they each carry their own visual and emotion. Waving your arms could mean a lot of things. Maybe you're dancing or waving hello. On the flip side, thrash implies fear, danger, or panic. There's an undertone of violence. Make sure you're using the words that best convey the emotion for that moment. Otherwise, readers are going to be pulled out of the story because the words aren't meshing with the tone. So that's all I got for you today. I'll hit you with the rest of my tips for evoking emotion some other time. Right now, we got prizes to hand out. One lucky winner of my TSS presale giveaway is walking away with a signed hardback of Divinity Falling by Noor Zikra, and the winner is this person. A huge thank you for pre-ordering TSS and supporting my pre-sale. It means the world to me. And a huge thank you to Noor for participating in my giveaway and donating a copy of her book. She is absolutely amazing. If you'd like the chance to win one of over 35 prizes, it's not too late to enter. Pre-order TSS right now and enter my giveaway. You can get it in ebook, you can get it in paperback, you can get it in hardback, and it's available all over the place. I have the links listed below. Thank you to Matt for requesting today's topic. If you'd like the chance to have a video dedicated to you, or if you want access to tons of other rewards, check me out on Patreon. We've got our own exclusive writing group. You get early access to videos. There's a monthly live stream. There's signed merch. It's awesome. Check it out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays, and if you want to be alerted as soon as I upload, ring that bell. And be sure to follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, and of course, you can tweet me at Jenna Moreci. Bye!
You've read Tobias's story. Now it's time for Layla's. The Savior Sister, coming soon.